everybody, it's me, Bryson Booker, and it is time for a BBTV episode review just for you. Coming back with another one here for you. And today, I'm going to be reviewing the episode Stay Awake from Cow and Chicken, which originally aired on April 7th, 1998. It was the last episode of Season 2 of Cow and Chicken. You know, mama had a cow, dad had a chicken. You know, they didn't care how, they just had them. And that type of birth never happened in the history of mankind ever since that show. It was, you know, yeah, some people call it a ripoff of Ren and Stimpy. But the catch was it differed a bit from Ren and Stimpy. I believe that Cow and Chicken kind of kept the idea of its creator in mind. Meaning that a lot of the episodes of Cow and Chicken, you know, they kind of resemble what the creator wanted the show to be instead of what the network wanted the show to be. And I think that's really the biggest difference. The best season of Ren and Stimpy really has to be the first season because John K. put his foot in every episode. Later down the line, though, Nickelodeon said, we're taking over. And they did, and they got rid of John K. as well as some of his writers from Spunko and kind of put in their own writers and other people to take over the show. And a lot of Ren and Stimpy episodes that came out later down the line, around 93, 94, 95, it just didn't represent John K.'s vision that well. Partially because John K.'s vision was already kind of, you know, blown out of proportion to begin with. But David Feast and Cow and Chicken, definitely a lot of the episodes involved the creator, and a lot of the humor differs a bit. You know, it's not so, the humor is not so graphic as Ren and Stimpy, but then again, you know it's there, and you know that it's trying to be that type of show, but it still had its own unique style and its own unique personality that kind of differed it from Ren and Stimpy. But anyway, the episode I'm reviewing today is Stay Awake, and so this episode is very, very simple, and you know, in shows like this, the simpler the episode, you know, you don't need a complex plot in these types of episodes, in these types of series. You know, when it's literally about two characters who go on stupid adventures, you can literally think of any stupid adventure that comes to your head, but it has to make sense, and this one actually does make sense. So, Chicken randomly eats basically a bowl of caffeine and coffee-inspired cereal. And so it basically gets him really hyper and hyperactive, and then he starts jumping around, and, you know, he basically has the runs for the entire episode. And so the main plot of the episode is when Chicken tries to go to sleep, he can't because he's hyperactive. And so the whole episode literally goes through 3 days of Chicken trying to go to sleep because he's so hyper. It's an unusual plot, and let me tell you, most of the comedy does rely on Chicken most of the time, because if it didn't, you know, the episode probably wouldn't have made sense. I gotta say, it doesn't really kind of offer anything new, I would say, except the ending. But Chicken's attitude obviously is hyperactive, and that's really the comedy for most of the episode. His hyperactive attitude towards eating that sugary coffee type cereal basically is the influence of the comedy, basically, because he's just acting stupid, and stupid equals funny in this episode. In a lot of Cow and Chicken episodes, you know, stupid kind of does equal funny, but it's actually stupidly intelligent that it's funny. And what I mean by that is, yeah, it's stupid, but they execute it in a way that, you know, it's not as stupid as it should be, making it funny at the same time. Intelligent humor, I guess I call it intelligent humor. But overall, you know, the episode is it's straightforward and it's simple. And at the end, basically, Cow steps in and tries to help Chicken by offering some suggestions to how he can calm down and finally get to sleep. And the final solution, which I think is literally the best part of the episode, is when Cow becomes Super Cow and basically spits or delivers warm milk into Chicken's mouth from her udders. And then, I think the best line of this episode is when Cow is reading and she's like, "Ooh, all I have to do is give warm milk. I have plenty of that." I think that was the best part of the episode. So Chicken finally falls to sleep when his sister sprays him with warm cow milk, and he's knocked out until his parents come up there and wake him up again. And then he basically starts to become hyperactive when he sees the cereal box. Like I said, this episode is kind of, it's the plot seemed like it wouldn't have made sense, but they kind of worked with it and made it make sense and kind of added a twist at the end, which is always a good thing. The obvious didn't happen. Chicken didn't, continue to have the sugar high until he obviously crashed. That didn't happen. They wanted to twist it up at the end and make, something unusual come from this unusual situation. And the unusual solution to the situation was Cow spraying warm milk into Chicken's mouth. And I think that definitely was the icing on the cake for it. Like I said, it's a decent episode. I wouldn't say that this episode represents the series well, because it doesn't. Because there's a whole lot of other episodes that definitely represent the series well better than this one. But it may get a second watch from me, but I know that there's better episodes of Cow and Chicken than this one, especially better than this one, But it's a pretty good episode for what it does and what it tries to prove and what it tries to explain to you, that a silly situation can most likely lead to silly and unusual results, which is basically the point of this episode. So stay awake from Cow and Chicken. Pretty decent Cow and Chicken episode from season 2. Check it out.